Hey everybody, it's Diesel12, and welcome to another Diesel12's um my Monopoly discussion. Today we're going to talk about the quest of the Princess Ponies parts 3 and 4. So we start off with the Princess Ponies have been captured and trying to figure out how to get out. And then Sledge comes by and tells them that he no longer wants to work for Levon. He then tells them that he'll help them out on one condition. That when, but as but by the way, Spike starts wrestling with them, but eventually Dinosaur tells him to stop and to hear him out. They he then tells him exactly what he wants to do. He wants to. He tells him the reason why he's doing this is if Pony is destroyed, he'll suffer the same fate. So Levon finally completes his transformation, and he thinks here's the power, which kind of shows us what his power is like now. And they go back to his throne room. Oh, by the way, Megan and I don't remember her name go try to continue to look for the rainbow of light, which was lost, but they can't because the jewel desert is starting to really get out of hand. Anyway, we did draw attention to the ponies over in Ponyland as the Jewel Desert is starting to really get out of hand in around there too. And Wind Whistle is caught underneath a branch that has been crystallized. Also, Megan and the Princess Pony decide that it's time to ask Mr. Moonstick. And he also is having problems with his own kind of magic. They see the comes alive, Recline comes to life and starts eating all the books. And Mr. Moonstick himself. Eventually they get out, and now that they can't figure out how to do it, what to do, they want to. Mr. Habit starts pulling Megan towards the book of lost answers, which has the answers what they want. And Mr. Boutique gets the magic book out of the grasp of the chair, after going to the side, and he then tells them that they have to take the wands in the heart of Holy Land. Meanwhile, we return to our attention back to the ponies, the princess ponies, who see that their wands have been drained of their power. And Levon comes up and shows that he has drained them out of powers within part one, and part three. Part four continues from there, and they distract Levon, and they get away. Eventually, Megan and the Princess Boy, I'm sorry, I'm not good with their names. Decide that go in there, and Megan tells them that they have to find the Harpoon event. Eventually, they start complaining when Spike asks them how to hold it up, and they start complaining, and then they decide maybe complaining is not the best thing to do, and they sing Long Hard Road. And eventually, they come upon the heart of Polyland. But Levon stops them from putting the wands into the crowds. Events and they have to come up with a plan. Meanwhile, Windward and Wizard are trying to figure out what they can do because, well, Windward is under these events and it's too heavy. So Windward tells her to go get help, but Windward tells her if she does that, she may come back and Windward may be covered in crystal. Eventually, so we turn our attention back to Megan and the others who are hiding from Levon, and he and they decide to come up. Megan comes up with a plan to stop Levon by, and the plan is to get him distracted enough by having the Bush Boys take the wands at their sledge, basically puts them into lava, and eventually they give him back the wand, and Ganesh freezes him just enough to give him enough time to put the wands back in the crowns, and put the wands in the crowns, and restore the powers. And then restore the magic. And then they throw the magic back at Levon, and he's destroyed. But there's still the problem of Pointland falling apart. So they put the wands back together and stop the magic from going crazy, and everything's back to normal, except for the chair. So, in celebration, the Princess Boys decide to give the Bush Boys, since they helped out, the crowns. And obviously, one of them keeps the crown for the Bush Boy that was lost in the Zero Desert. Eventually, they have a picnic and they start, they start the whole. How I want to be, we haven't decided who will be queen. And then they decide the one thing they said at the beginning on part one: take turns being queen. And they start thinking about the busload that was lost and the rainbow light. But just as the episode is about to end, guess who comes up with the rainbow light? The lost busload, which ends part four. All right, next time we're going to talk about Spike's Search, which is one of my favorite episodes. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll see you guys on the next video.